Hi, everybody. It's been a while since I posted an update, and I would say that I don't have a definitive schedule to report to you on, but I am noticing that the more inflammatory foods you eat, the worse you feel. I am noticing that, like with everything in life, if you're a born female and have periods, you're going to feel worse at certain times during the month. For me, lately, it has been the days before and the week of having a period. Prior to that, yeah, it was around the same time. I just started drinking coffee. I noticed that coffee is great, but it causes me to flare up. So after I drink coffee for like a day, I'll drink like 2 or 3 cups of half calf. So it's technically like a cup of real coffee. My joints will start hurting and I'll start to get, more inflamed, anxiety. I'll start to even get maybe some stomach issues. And let me tell you, this whole process has led me down some major stomach issues. I went once to the ER every day for a week straight. They had to give me that numbing stuff that you drink that numbs your throat, numbs all the way down to your stomach. And even that didn't fully work. I went back the next day and begged for it, and they wouldn't give it to me. I had I'm assuming a major bout of gastritis. I couldn't get an endoscopy because I hadn't met my insurance deductible, so I couldn't afford it. Um, but no, it eventually went away. They had me on proton pump inhibitors and like histamine blockers, and all of this happened because I took Augmentin, which is amoxicillin with some other kind of booster in it. I took Augmentin for a tooth infection. I was going to go get that tooth extracted. I took Augmentin several days on an empty stomach with pain medication. So it fucked my stomach up for a total of about 2 weeks. And it sent my liver levels through the roof. Not like, liver shutdown or nothing, but through the roof to where they were extremely alarming for somebody like me. And of course, they had me tested for everything. They tested my feces, they tested my blood, they tested my liver levels, and nothing. It was literally just my liver in shock from that stupid Augmentin. And then on top of that, when Augmentin messed up my stomach, I was taking those proton pump inhibitors and the H2 antagonists. So in other words, Pepsid and what was it called? I forgot the name of this other one. It's been around for like 20 years. But they were having me take that every time I would go to the ER, and it would shoot my liver levels up. So I'm over here getting prepared to be like, oh yeah, you have hepatitis or you have cirrhosis or something like that. It's like, no, you don't have any of that. You're just your liver's really angry right now. So on top of my stomach already being all kinds of jacked up, I basically have to be on a diet, which is what I call like the flu food diet or rabbit food diet. I'm eating nothing but baked chicken, oatmeal, bananas, apples, bread, steamed vegetables with no seasoning. There's no seasoning on anything. Water, and maybe crackers that are unsalted. And that's pretty much the extent of my diet. Oh, boiled eggs. I think I could still eat boiled eggs. And that was my diet for 2 weeks straight. It seemed like a an eternity. And what was happening was because my body was in a weakened state, in pops lupus. Hello. She's the autoimmune. She's likely. We don't have definitive proof, but she's likely the autoimmune that's been right under the surface this whole time. And what she's doing is she's giving me muscle spasms to where I'm getting muscle cramps at night for a couple of nights, and they are painful. They feel like somebody's ripping my muscles apart in my legs and in my arms. On top of that, my stomach is burning like hell. And it's not just my stomach burning. When I get that kind of flare up, my whole chest burns, my back burns, my arms burn, my joints hurt. Picture all of that at the same time, will you? So I can't sleep. I'm sleep deprived. I'm in pain. And of course, I'm being told by everybody, you know, like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You just need to do this. You just need to. And it's like, been there, done that. Not working. Not working. So now that I'm sleep deprived, my body's even more so in a flare up and picking on itself. So I'm just trying to remain sane. I'm trying to eat as much as my body will allow me. I'm trying to get the nutrients in that my body will allow me, because I know that my body right now needs nutrients more than ever. And of course, you know, I start having poop changes because I'm taking medications for my stomach. So my poop starts turning like a light beige. And then it's turning like a dark color. And then it's turning a light color. And all of this happens because my teeth are more sensitive now, thanks to perimenopause. And what promoted my perimenopause abruptly? Mirena. Yeah. So, I will have, other than the major stomach flares and I get lots of backaches, joint pain. Oh, my vision has gone to crap. I can feel the weather coming now like crazy, man. I feel like Magneto or something. My head starts spinning. I start getting dizzy. But I don't have sinus problems. That's a weird thing. I don't get a runny nose or nothing. I just get really freaking equilibrium-y dizzy. Like my vertigo. My head feels crazy dizzy. My nerves get all flared up. And I'll start getting nerve pain that goes from my back all the way to my chest. Now, of course I'm thinking, oh yeah, it's a heart problem. It's a heart problem. My heart's been tested. It's fine. I've gone to the ER so many times and they checked the troponin, which would tell you if you had a heart attack. It's fine. EKG's fine. Went to a heart specialist. For the most part, they could tell based off a sonogram that it looked fine. They wanted me to do a radioactive test, like put radioactive dye in me or something and do me a stress test. I didn't want to do it. I couldn't afford it. So I know that my cholesterol, since this whole thing has gone down, has wavered back and forth between bordering high and right under being high. So in other words, like bordering high and then back to normal, but just right before high. And I know that as far as diabetes go, I'm like pre-diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic. It's like before that. I'm scheduled for an MRI with and without contrast, because throughout this whole process, I was found out to have a lesion on my brain, on the right frontal lobe, in the gray matter. I don't know. It's one lesion. And that affects executive function. It affects memory. It affects, like, I think it's mainly memory, and my memory's been shit. I think it affects impulsivity or something, you know? Highly explains my ADHD. I kind of have a sneaky suspicion I've had that lesion for a while. I think I've had it for a while. Anyway, I'm trying to think of what else. The hair loss is insane. But I will, okay, here's some good news, you know. Oh, and I break out. Like crazy breakout right in here. The facial hair has always been there, but it's stayed about the same. But I get these pimples on the back of my neck. I get like 5 or 6 of them and nothing comes out, just water. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, it's bedtime around here. But yeah, sleep disturbances. On occasion, I need lorazepam to sleep because I just can't sleep, because what happens is I get something what I call chemical anxiety. I now understand it to be something kind of like an adrenaline rush. Or, hold on. Oh yeah, and another thing, my ears are constantly itching. My nose is constantly itching. Everything's constantly itching. Get your teeth taken care of for sure. My teeth hurt a lot at any given point. What else? What else? Granted, when all of this started happening, I was like 38. So could I have my body had already been wanting to have an autoimmune and wanting to start perimenopause? Maybe. I don't know. All I know, though, is going through the Mirena crash was the worst time of my life. It was the worst, year of my life. Everything after the first year got steadily better. So if you're going through a Mirena crash right now, if you don't start taking care of your diet, start exercising, start really taking care of your body, then it's just going to slow the process. And you need to insist when you go to your gynecologist's office, you need to insist when you go to your doctor's office that they test 20 of your hormones. And they also test you for autoimmune. And then, of course, they also test your vitamin and nutrient levels. All of that's super important. It's going to be expensive. But it's important for you to know so that you know where you're at. I didn't know I was low on iodine. Do you know how much your iodine levels can affect your thyroid? Thyroid is a big player in all of this because it regulates some of your hormones. It regulates a good majority of a lot of hormones. People are going to be going through what you're going through, likely. They're going to be going through that, coming off of a lot of different types of birth control. They're going to be going through that when they're going through perimenopause. They're going to be going through that when they're going through menopause. They're going to be going through that when they have thyroid problems, when they have autoimmune. They're all very similar symptoms. Plus, there's more. You know? You know your body. Trust yourself. It doesn't matter if you look wacko to other people. All of this that I went through nearly got me in a very bad position because of how bad I was getting. Really bad. I couldn't even get off the couch. I couldn't walk. And nobody prepares you for that. Yeah, it's in the fine print of all your birth control, but who pays attention? And plus there's things in there that they there's things that could happen that are not in the fine print. Get screened as much as you possibly can. It's better to be able to put a label on what you have rather than to not know. Because now once you have a label, you can work with it. And don't let anybody make you feel bad about how bad you feel. Cry as much as you need to cry. Scream if you have to. Write it down. Blog it. Vlog it. Post it on Facebook. Post it on TikTok. Wherever and whatever you have to do to keep yourself sane. Because we have to go through this for a while. If it leads you into perimenopause, you're going to have to be going through perimenopause for a while. Unless you decide to go back on birth control, which I wouldn't advise unless you absolutely have to. Or unless you go in preemptively for hormone treatment. I mean, like I said, I don't know many people that go in for hormone treatment when they're just in perimenopause. They usually go in after menopause because the symptoms are crazy. I've actually known a handful of people that said their menopause wasn't that bad. I was like, I thought all menopause was bad. They're like, no, I hardly got any symptoms and I feel okay. And I'm like, jealous. I wish for everybody that's watching this video that you have no more bad symptoms. Call me a dreamer. But I hope that everything starts to get better from here. And one thing that's important is log your stuff. I have one of those big desk calendars. It's got room to write a little bit about your day. Write in there. Do yourself like color coding. Like green is feeling really good. Yellow is feeling and red is feeling bad. That's what I used to do on this app that I had. If it's green, right, like I slept really well. I ate really well. I didn't have any food allergies today. Because food allergies is, a big thing that often pops up because histamines, hormones, they're linked. And yes, your stomach has histamines. And the yellow, like, didn't sleep as well as I wanted to, but still got some sleep. Woke up with a little bit of a headache. Was kind of in a bad mood, felt kind of anxious, but overall a decent day, and then red is when it's really bad. You can fill in the blanks there. Like little things like that. And then you can look at your progress over a month and be like, hey, look, it's actually kind of gotten better. I have like 4 or 5 bad days and then the rest of the month is good. Before you know it, most of us, that's kind of how it's going to turn out. Your body's going to heal as long as you help it heal, and things will usually start to get better. It's not going to happen right away. You're going to have patience. You're going to have to do your best to really take care of yourself. But that's my update for now. Sorry it's not like aesthetically pleasing, but hey, that's life. So there you go.